Good morning, boys and girls. Today is March 30th, Monday, March the 30th, and we're going to continue learning our Bible verse as we were. We will continue learning Bible verse 4 on Psalms 23, and so we're going to go ahead and review this right away. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Now I would like you to go ahead and review from the top. We will start on verses 1 through 4. Psalms 23, verses 1 through 4. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul and guides me in path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Now, once you're done with that, if you know verse 4, you may begin working on verse 5 until we learn all of it. I know most of you were already just about learning the whole thing, but I will be going through that as stated. We are not going to have a Bible story, but I am going to tell you that this week we were going to be starting to learn about Jesus's early ministries. We just went through the miracles, and he continues walking, ministering to the people. However, if you have parents, if you have Bible stories at home, it would be great if you could just tell them a short little Bible story in the morning when the lesson starts, and maybe have a word of prayer. Next month, we'll be moving into the Easter story, which speaks of Jesus's crucifixion and resurrection. But I will let you know as the weeks go along. So we're going to go ahead, boys and girls. That was very good. I like the way you're drilling your verse. That's great. Keep on working hard on that. And now we're going to have a word of prayer to start our day. Bow your heads and fold your hands. Dear Lord Jesus, we thank you for this beautiful day. We love you and praise you, and we ask you to bless us, bless our families, keep us all safe, bless our school and all the boys and girls, and just bless everyone in the whole wide world. We ask that you keep us all safe, continue to be with us, and help us to do the best we can as we are learning at home, Lord Jesus. Just help the boys and girls to continue forth, and help the parents, Lord Jesus, as they're working with them. We ask a blessing over every one of us, and we thank you for this day, dear Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, now we're going to go on to the next thing. And this morning, I'm just going to tell you that I did put a sheet in there for you, and it speaks on your readiness skills. It's very easy to do. Your parents are going to help you. It's all about being kind to one another. And you're going to discuss that with your parents. And then you have 1, 2 through 3, where you will discuss ways of showing how you can be kind. And then you will circle that. And that is for your thinking and learn skills. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next thing, which is our phonics drill. And today I would like to just remind you that the 1 and 2 vowel rule we learned about is very important that you remember. I have a few words here on the board for you, and we're going to go just very quickly. Just remember that when there is 1 vowel in a word, the vowel will usually say what? Yes, that's right. Thank you, boys and girls. It will say its short sound, and we mark it with a happy face. So this word is bus. Now moving to the next one. This is a 2 vowel word. When there is 2 vowels in a word, the first one says its long sound, the second one is silent, and the word is ride. Now we also have words that begin with a vowel. Now remember, you have to remember, even if it's a 1 or 2 vowel word, you're going to mark it as the rule says. How many vowels do we see here? 2. The first one says its long sound, the second one is silent, and it's the word ate. Here we have a 1 vowel word, and we're going to mark it with a happy face, at. Here's another. These are all vowel words. That's why I'm going over this, because sometimes the children get confused when it's a short word and it starts with a vowel. Is, in, axe, egg. Now something special about these words, these two words, when there are two consonants that are the same, we say the sound one time at the end of the word. So this would be egg, ill. Okay, good. Now we're going to go ahead and review our charts, and Sparky's going to help us this morning. Sparky's going to help us on chart 6, and I'm going to do this. This will be for the review for the whole week, but I will do other little things that we're going to be doing. Okay, so k in duck, E in me, O in go, I in fly, A in pray, st in stop, pull in plane, fur in frog, chur in train, sh in ship. Now remember, this one has two sounds, th in thick and th in this. Bull in block, coal in clock, full in flake, and glue in glue. Okay, now I think most of you know this because you had your charts and we're already working on chart 7. This week I included in your packet our new chart, which will be chart 8 after 7, but don't start working on that until you see it in your lesson plan. Okay, so moving to chart 7. Burr in bride, dur in drum, purr in pray, gur in grin, sm in smoke, sk in scat, and these have the same sound but a different spelling. Sk in skate, sp in spade, cur in crab, tw in twins. Now these are different because they have 3 letters. So take your time and just say it. Spull in splash, spur in sprain, skr in scream, squa in squeak, sn in snack, sl in sleep, stir in stream, and swa in swim. The 2 sounds we're focusing on today are skr in scream and spur in sprain. Now let's practice marking our special sound words. Here we have the first one, which is skr. And how many vowels do you see, boys and girls? That's right, 2. Good. Okay, so we're going to mark it long and silent. And the word is scream. Now here's another one. Skr. And how many vowels do we have here? 1. Great, yes. And how am I going to mark that, Leah? Oh, okay, with a happy face? Good, thank you. Now the word is scrap. And then we're going here with spur, and we're gonna circle our special sound, spur, and mark our 2 vowels, and you would say it. If you're having trouble saying it, you can say spray, sound it out, sprain. And the last one for spur right here is spur, spree, like a shopping spree. I would love that. Okay, very good. And so here are some more words that I'm just going to go quickly because I think you all know the sounds and how to mark them. I'm not going to say them, maybe 1 or 2. This one is glad, 1 vowel word, and then we have full, oat, float, very good. Yes, that's right. That's exactly how we do it. Thank you for that, Nathan. Okay, now we're going to be down here. Sometimes some of the words have 2 special sounds, so we have to remember, if I ask you to mark the 2 sounds, then you would go, because this one has sm, a, sh, smash. And also remember that some words have the special sound in the middle or even at the end like this word did. So we're going to go here, and this word is waste, waste, okay? Then we have, oh, here's another spur word. Spur, and A. Put the two sounds together, spur, A. All right, now, here we go. All right, now Anaya, how do we do this one? How do I mark it? Oh, the SPR, okay, great. Our new sound, and then short I, so the word is sprint, sprint. And then we have this one, which also has two sounds. So we're gonna put them together and say pull, A, play. Another spur word, sprint, sprint. Great, okay. I just wanna review very quickly some blends. Now, these are like the first ones that we learn, and I know this is like baby stuff to you guys, so we're gonna go ahead and do it anyway because you have to remember, okay? So this is the short D, da, da, de, and da. And then when we learned our long sounds, we know that it always has the two vowel words will have that long symbol on top. And we go do, dee, day, do, and die. All right, and there's something special about this one. This is why I'm doing this right now. This is our Q blend. Now, when we have a word that begins with QU, do we mark the U as the first vowel? No, class. Remember, we're going to mark the first vowel after the QU because it already has a U. So this would be qua, que, quick, qua, and back to this. Now the long version would be quo, quai, qui, and quay. Moving along, we're going to go ahead and see that when you have special sounds, it's the same thing, but you have to remember your special sound. So I'm just going to do a few of these. Here's the pull in plain. So pull, ah, pla, play, pla, play, and play. Okay, and then moving to ST, we're going to go with the long sounds. Sty, stee, stow, stay. Oh, here's a short one. Sta. Okay, great. That's great. Let's see. There's back. Okay, so remember, when you get your papers and your parents are going to be working with you, boys and girls, take your time and have your parent explain some of these things that I showed you here. I think most of you know how to do this. You just need to just be patient and let your parents help you with it too. And there will be papers that you're going to be working on this week. For example, I'm going to just show you one very quickly. Here's one. Now this is a test, so you just have your parents read and follow their directions, and then you mark as you know how. Do the best you can on that. Okay, now we're gonna go to our writing lesson, and we're just quickly gonna remember that we were already learning, and most of you already identified your cursive ABCs. So here we are, and this is your formation. I'm putting some cursive sheets in your packet so that you can practice at home. And we're just quickly gonna go over a few. Okay, so let me see now. Nathan, what letter is this? Yes, that's right, A. Okay, great. Annabelle, what about this? Did you say H? Super, okay, great. All right, let's have Maurice. J, great. All right, let me see, Leah. P, good, okay. Anaya, this is kind of a tricky one because it looks like a 2. Do you remember what it is? Great, you said Q. Okay, super. Okay, now Lacey, what is this? Correct, S, good job. Okay, and Annabelle, this one? T, correct. You guys are all doing so good. I hope I didn't forget any. anybody, but if I did, I'll try to get you next time. Just keep on working, and I send you a little cursive letter guide so that you can continue to work on that and be ready for first grade. Okay, so at this time, we're gonna be, you're gonna be working on a writing paper. And then after that, we're going to move to our numbers lesson. I have some numbers up here. We've already worked on this before, just as an example. And we're gonna go ahead and work on these numbers in between. I think most of you already know them from drilling our numbers part. And here we go. We're just gonna go, I mean, you're beyond this, but this is what we're gonna do today, just to like make it a little easier. Okay, so I see a 1 and a 3. What number comes between those two? Let me see. What number comes? No, Lonnie? What comes between 1 and 3? 2? Great. Okay, super. I love that. Thank you. Okay, now 3 and 5. Okay, Annabelle, what would we put there? Oh yes, very easy. 4, thank you. That's great. Okay, 5 and 6, Maurice. 7, what comes between 5 and 7? 6, good. All right, great job. Okay, moving on. Anaya, what comes between 7 and 9? Yes, correct. Very good. Okay, moving along. Let me see. Okay, now the rest we're gonna go really quick, and I'm just gonna tell you. Okay, looking up here, 9 and 11. What comes between those two? Oh, moving to our teen family. That's right, 10. Good job. Thank you, boys and girls. Now we're in our teen numbers. 12 and 14. What comes between? 13. 15 between 14 and 16, 16 and 18, 17, 18 and 20, 19. Good job, guys. Thank you so much for helping me with that. Now, we're going to talk about something special today, where I want you to review your combinations. In your packets, I've given you a sheet of combination families up to the 10 family. And we've been working really hard. Today, we're going to review the 7 family, and we're going to be right here with our little animals, our forest friends. This is rabbits and squirrels. So if we're reviewing the 7 family and we want to know what's the answer to 4 plus 3, and we just can't remember. Okay, so let's do it this way, because you're going to have a lot of little animals. Since it's springtime already, you're going to see a lot of little forest animals on your sheet. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus, here's your plus symbol. 1, 2, 3 squirrels. Let's count them all together. 4 plus 3 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Okay, great. Now you know that the way we write that combination is this way. 4 plus 3 equals 7. And we can turn it around because it's a twin and say 3 plus 4 equals 7. So either way would be correct. And this is, I want you to keep reviewing. I know some of you already know beyond your 10 family, but just keep reviewing your combination sheet as often. And if you want to have some fun, parents, you can make flashcards for them or whatever you want to do. If ever they're struggling with one of the concepts of the combination families, go ahead and use objects to show them how to add them together, and that will give them the result. Something very special that we're going to work on today is something new. We've been telling time, and so far we had learned old clock time. Now that was the first that we learned how to tell time. We know that the clock has 12 minutes on it, and each hour is 60 seconds because we count by 5s. But we know something very special. The clock has 2 hands, And whenever the big hand is on the 12, it's always going to be, what time, boys and girls? 12 o'clock, correct. And this is how we would write it. 12:00. So that was the first time that we learned to tell. And then we moved to the second time. After we learned how to do that, we learned that when the big hand travels to half of the clock, we are at half past the hour. So how do we say that? How do we write it? Half past the hour would be 12:30. Great. I'm glad you're on it. That's good. Great job. So this was our second time that we learned. Now I'm very excited because today we're going to go to a brand new time. And as I told you, we count by fives. Each of these little sticks right here, 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way till you get to the 12 would be 60. Well, the new time we're learning about today is when the big hand gets on the 3, it is no longer 12 o'clock, 12:30. It is quarter past the hour. And we say it this way, 12:15. So that would be quarter past the hour, or 15 after. But this is our new time, so you're going to see some sheets like this. And sorry, class, I messed up. Okay. There you go, past the hour. You're going to see sheets like this, so what you have to remember is how to remember. If it's o'clock time, then you're going to write it like this, always 00. If it's half past, which is 12:30, then you're going to go like this, 12:30. And the new time, remember, if the big hand is on the 3, it's going to say 15 after the hour, 12:15. I hope you're working hard and trying to remember those times, so if you have a test, you won't get into any stress. Okay, let me see now. We're just about through for today, and then I'm just going to review quickly. It's a lot of fun to have Play-Doh play parents for the kids. It's good for their motor skills, and they can practice making words, blends, whatever they might have a difficulty with, or just for fun, just using your motor skills, which is one of the things we would have done today. Today you're going to be working on page 149 and 150, and you already know how that goes. You just are going to go ahead and let your parents explain it to you and go from there. Okay, so on the top, your parents will tell you what word to write. You're going to see a boat. On the first line, you write the word they said, and then the second word, cat, run. And those are easy words that you already know. Then on number 2, you're going to circle special sounds and mark the vowels. Now down on number 3, you have 3 words here. Black, prim, plum. You're going to complete the sentence by using one of these words. Only 1 word per sentence. So you read the sentence. The cat is, now I don't want to see any silly sentences. Plum? No. What could we say? What class? Oh, the cat is black. Great. And then down here, I ate a plum. Good job. Okay, so that's what you're going to do with that. And then with your letter cards, I hope you still have them. If not, you can use your alphabet sheet that I gave you, and go ahead and drill your ABCs. Remember your sounds for your ABCs, and maybe your parents can play a little game with you if they like with that. Okay, and so moving on, I did put a little booklet in your packet. It's a little art booklet. It's called All Things Bright and Beautiful. That's a fun sheet, but it talks about God's creation, so the kids can color it, and you can discuss that, and then parents just, you can make a hole in it and put yarn or ribbon, whatever, to make their little booklets. I also put a writing tablet in there, and you're going to be writing by 5s. Now don't forget When you write by fives, we've already drilled this, you start counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. And that's what you're going to do with your paper. You can say it and write it. And that should go quick. I also probably put a few fun sheets in your packet so you can work on those. And then we're moving on to the third day already. You're going to be working on some more sheets. You're going to work on letters and sounds. You're going to be doing your writing. Now on your writing sheets, many times you will see a picture on top. So after they write and read their sentences, make sure that the kids can have fun. If they want to color the sheet, and it would be fun because it makes it nicer like that, and they'll have time for that. On Wednesdays through Fridays, we usually have reading circle, and group 1, which you will see me mention on when you see my my blog. The group 1 is Annabelle, Leah, and Nathan. So when I refer to group 1, they are the ones that are going to be reading a certain book. Group 2 would be Lacey, Noelani, Anaya, and Maurice, and they will be reading according to what I assign to them. All your books will be in your packet. Please be careful not to lose them, because if and when we do get to come back to school, we have to have everything together. So let's try to keep it all together. And for those of you like group 1, which is really advanced, you might want to go up ahead a little bit. It's okay. Or if you want them to read something else that you have for them, that's okay too. And there'll be some listening and thinking skills papers in there where you read and then the children will answer. There will be numbers writing papers. I'm sending you the number writing tablet in your booklet packet so that you can pull those sheets out if I don't have them in the packet. There's a few Bible activities that I enclosed for you, and you can do those also during the daytime. For math, on Thursday we're having combinations and working on telling time. And if you have a clock at home, that would be great that the kids could use. And then there is a written evaluation. Now on the written evaluation, the boys and girls are going to be, it's a test that you will turn into Ms. De La Fuente when she tells you to turn it in. And just do your best. Let's be on the honor system and just continue to help your child. Most kids do real well. You may have to read the instructions twice to them. And this test will be easy. On number 1, you'll be marking vowels. Number 2, and I don't want to show you the answers, circling the special sounds. And then on number 3, listen as your parent tells you the name of the picture, and then you circle the sound that begins that picture. On the bottom, number 4, that's super easy. You're going to read your sentence and circle one of the words that that you have to complete the sentence there. And that's going to be all. Parents, if you want to be doing more enrichment, you can do rhyming words with them, which is really good for their language skills. And then of course on Friday the spelling test. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to that. Here we go, and Sparky's gonna help me. Come on, Sparky, boys and girls are waiting. All right, so these are the spelling words that I have, and it's just 10 words. We actually, after test 8, we're only gonna have 2 more tests, so I'm gonna sparse them out. The first word is scale. S-C-A-L-E, scale. Clash, C-L-A-S-H, thin, T-H-I-N, drive, D-R-I-V-E, drive. Robe, R-O-B-E, robe. Truck, T-R-U-C-K, truck. Coke, C-O-K-E. Home, H-O-M-E. Blush, B-L-U-S-H. Now remember guys, some of these do have 2 special sounds, So you're gonna have to remember mole, M-O-L-E. And parents, they should say them, write them, and spell them. And then as they start learning them, they can also, you can pick a few that they might want to make a sentence with. This really helps them. And if you do that, I would just drill with them every day and have them write them, or whatever you want to do, flashcards, whatever you like. And then, of course, on Friday, you will be testing them. And you can give them out of order, which is the way I used to give them. That way you can know if they truly learned the word or not. And that's the best thing you can do for them as far as the test goes. Let me see. Okay. And then you will continue, of course, with your reading on that day, because you will have reading circle. Group 1 is already working on I can read well. And then group 2 will start on I can read well on Thursday. And then you'll go from there. Let me see. There is an oral evaluation in numbers, parents, on Friday. And let me see if I can find that real quick. Okay, and the way this works is they'll do the sheet, you'll read them the instructions in the front and in the back, and then when you're ready, then the way I used to do it is call them to my desk and then give them the combination, and they give you the answer and write it in. Then if you show them like the nickels, they need to know the value of those nickels, how much is it worth. And of course the clock, it will have 2 times that they have to recognize. So if you could have a little clock for them, that would be great. So that way when you're ready, you can just show them the clock and ask them, okay, you show them the clock like I did here, it would be 12 o'clock. And then if I show them like, change the time to 12:30 or whatever the sheet tells you. And that is the oral evaluation, that's how it works. You're also going to have science this week, and I think I forgot to mention it in the very beginning, but let me show you very quickly. We had already started this science book, the first lessons. We finished with our social studies, and this is our science book. It's called God's World, and we did the first lessons. The first lessons was about God has a plan for me. And there's a very special little prayer that I like to say in the beginning before we begin our study. It's called the Little Child's Belief. And your child can actually read this already, because many of them are reading. They might need help with 1 or 2 words. But if you can have them recite this prayer every time you do their science lesson, that will help them to remember that this is how we did it in class. And then we went on to learn about God's plan for us, and it talks about different things and how we don't know everybody in the world, but God knows us all. He even knows how many hairs we have on our head. We went on and had gotten to this part too about understanding that when we were babies, we did not know much about God's world, but now that we're bigger, we know more about God's plan and about His world. And these books are very special because you can personalize them on this page, page 7. You can put a picture of your own child here, and this makes the book more special to them. The lesson we're going to be learning this week would be all, and you'll see the pages on the blog that I put out for you. It's all about the 5 senses. It says God made our bodies special so we could enjoy the world around us. And it will speak of eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and skin. And you can just continue with your booklet, different little activities that you can do on the days that science is assigned. I think we only have it 3 days. We have it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you can do the lessons according to that. And then, of course, when we're through with the 5 senses, then we'll move to something else. And you'll just go along like that and work in your booklets with your children. Some of them do not have many things to do at first. It's mostly listening and discussion and having your child, explore the world of the five senses, what you can do with your five senses and being safe, tasting, and all kinds of things like this. So this is and I will enclose, this is enclosed in your packet of booklets that I'm sending home. And these pages we do not tear out. We just work in the book. This book will stay intact till the end of the year. And then again, we've already covered how we do blends with special sounds, how we do just the plain blends that we learned in the beginning, and which were the little blends to start a word, stuff like that. So that basically wraps it up, except that for this week, we were moving up all the way to, on chart 7, we were moving up to squa. And it's good, like when you read a book with your child, if you help them, oh look, here's a spool, you learned about that in class this week. And then you can help them or let them point it out to you and say, look, here's a special sound, or here's a 2-vowel word, just to enrich the lesson. And basically that's it for this week, and then we're moving on to the next week. Continue with our verse, Psalms 23. They will move to verse 5 and continue reciting. And like I said, if they want to recite everything, it's fine, because at the end, I was hoping when we have our graduation that they would be able to recite all of Psalms 23. But we'll see how that goes, but they can continue working. And for this week, which is the second week, we will be working up to 5. So help your child with that. If you have the story of Zacchaeus on hand, it would be great if you can talk to them about that this week. And then I don't know how many of you have any little books like this, but these are really like Bible stories. If you have Bible stories, the next after that we would be starting to learn about Jesus and when he leads into the Easter story. But that's towards like the end of the week. So just continue with your Bible verse, and then we'll go from there. All right, good morning, class. So this morning we're going to go ahead and recite our verse, Psalms 23, verse 5. And we're going to do this quickly, just that so we can finish. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Psalms 23, verse 5. And work on that all week. And then we're going to go ahead and go right into the next lesson, which is something that we had already talked about our 1 and 2 vowel rule. Is very important that they just can't remember when they're reading their books. If they get into a little niche where they can't do it, just remind them of the 1 and 2 vowel rule, and then help them say it, short or long, and that will help them. Continue to drill charts 6 and 7. And you're also going to be writing for today on Monday. You're going to be practice writing your first and last names 4 times, and try to do your best to stay within the house. Where do the houses live? We have upstairs, downstairs, and the basement. And try to keep your letters on those areas where they need to be. Now, we had learned about something very special. We had learned about the quarter. And we learned that the quarter, moving on to our numbers lesson, is worth 25 cents. And so we counted on our numbers chart over here, we counted, and I told them that when you're counting with quarters, you count by 25, 25, 50, 75, 100, and it's much quicker. 4 quarters equals $1. And so it's good to keep reviewing, because the children still get confused sometimes. They get confused with the value of their coins. So using real money is going to help them. We first learned about the penny. It's worth 1 cent. You count by ones. The dime, even though it's very small, is worth 10 cents. So we count by tens. The nickel is 5 cents. And the quarter equals to 25 cents. And if you want to enrich the lesson, you can start showing them like how much is, like I've shown you in some of our homework sheets. You can put like 2 dimes and a penny. How much does this equal? And then have them try to work it out. Whatever you want, you know, what you're comfortable with. Continue reviewing telling time up to the new time that we've gone on and stuff, and go from there. We are going to be doing some sheets where they have a sentence, and you may have to help them because there may be a sheet where they have to unscramble a sentence and put it in the right order, and that's a little hard for them. But if you help them, then you show them. We're not going to make a silly sentence like Jill fell up the stairs or something like that. No, we would have to say Jill fell down the stairs. When you see sheets like that, go ahead and help them with that, because it's very important that they stay in track. Also, I want to review that when you do a sentence, you have to remember that a sentence begins with a capital letter, like this. And it ends with a period. Or if it's a different kind of a sentence, it could be I'm gonna do it different. This is a question mark. This is a telling sentence. This is asking, do you miss me? And then if you're excited and you see an exclamation mark, we could go, we and remember these punctuation marks, your period, your question mark, that changes. So here you're excited because we went swimming. It has an exclamation mark. So this is how a sentence begins. Capital letter, it always ends with a punctuation mark. If it's telling, it's a period. Asking, it's a question mark. And swimming, we went swimming. Excited because it's an exclamation mark. And this goes for like the readers. I'm looking for smoothness and good expression in their reading. Let me see. Okay. All right, so we're going to continue working on letters and sounds, papers, and parents. I do want to tell you that on your papers, for example, you may see a paper on the bottom. It tells you the lesson number, and some papers you do both sides, but then there are some papers that may skip a couple of days. Like say this would be 132 on the bottom, lesson 132, and then if you turn it, it might say 134. So you can save that sheet for that day, for like a couple of days down the road. And that helps you. Just look down here, lesson 132, and that will help you parents to know what you should be doing. And if it has a different lesson number here, then save that for another day. Or if you want to do it, it's up to you. It's at your options. It's your home helping the students, okay? You will continue practicing your writing skills, working on letters and sounds, and then the reading. We've been doing reading Wednesday through Friday, so continue with that. I will write on your blog, but as the children advance, you will know how far to take them. Just don't go like beyond what they can do, because some of the books as they progress get a little bit harder. And then we're having a written evaluation on Friday of writing your letters correctly. What I had been striving for is for them to write their letters neatly and clearly, and also holding their pencil as they should, properly with 2 fingers, and resting it on the middle finger, and not lifting their pencil while they're writing, because this is what makes them do little scribble marks and I have to take points off. So practice on that, staying on the house you're supposed to, because on the papers you will see that you'll have your letter houses. And let's say this is house number 1. This is downstairs in the basement. And each house has its floor. So if we're writing the word lap, we would start right here, stop, and then our letter A. Now P goes in the basement, so strive for them to do the best they can on their letters. Some children are already enjoying writing words like this in cursive, but for your writing paper, I guess it's best not to confuse them. But for free sheets and stuff like that, you can do that. It'll work fine, and they'll enjoy trying to be more challenged by writing things in cursive. Okay. There will be a Bible activity in there, and that one on Thursday. You will have your science will be on Wednesday and Friday. And on Friday, I'm going to be, it will be the time to introduce the new chart. Let me see if I have it right here. I'm not sure, which will be chart 8. But I did include, no, I don't have it with me right now. I did include that in your packet so that you can start. And the first one is AR. The sound is R in star. R in star. And we'll progress from that. But your chart 8 is in your packet. So the next time we meet, I'll have your chart 8 so that you can see it, and we'll continue. But for now, continue with reviewing 6, working on 7. And then on Friday when I introduce that, but you can go from there because you'll see it. Let me see. There's no spelling tests this week. Just continue to work with them on their verses and reading Bible stories to them. And basically that's it. I can't think of anything else. You can pull your sheets if I don't have them in your packet. Your numbers writing will be in your booklets, and we have a folder for each of you with all the work covering through the end of the year. So you could just please keep it together, because if it gets lost, then when we come back, the children won't have anything here to work with. So thank you, parents. Thank you so much for what you're doing, and I hope to see everybody soon. We'll be in touch with you soon. God bless you, and I love you, children. I miss you. I'm praying for you and your family. Have a beautiful 2 weeks.